welcome to another amazing. You're welcome to another amazing session of Teachers Day, the workshop, which is our theme, Empowered to Empower. We welcome you all to this amazing session. This is our fourth program, yes, and I can say it has been amazing. So here we are tonight again. So tonight we'll be having Coach Olubukola RB Agbalaya. So so as I was saying, that I hope you are ready to be empowered because you have to be empowered for you to empower others. Tonight, we'll be having Coach. Okay, sorry. Tonight we'll be having Coach Olubukola RB Agbalaya on the topic effective communication and diction for teachers. And she'll be joining us in few minutes. In few minutes. Just stay with us. All right, today our first program was actually anchored by Coach Kazim Abolore on how to create extra streams of income as a teacher. And I want to believe that we've all gained something. As, in fact, don't let me say gain something. We've all been able to take a kind of a stream. We've been able to highlight the one that will work for us in such a way that it won't affect our own career as a teacher, but also add to our what streams of income. And I could remember last night, which was yesterday, we had a session on mindset of a successful teacher by our Amiable coach Abdulatif Adedeji. Likewise, our coach Medina Oyedele, she anchored building a formidable personal brand as a teacher. As a matter of fact, if you miss any of all this, you can go back and watch all the stream live. So that is an opportunity for you and I to be empowered and for us to empower others. Our our coach for tonight will be joining us in anytime soon. We're sure that probably due to network or something, yes, she'll be joining us as soon as possible. So, where should we start from? As we know that the theme for tonight is all about effective communication and diction skills for teachers. Truthfully, we've seen teachers that their mode of communication, or let me say their diction, doesn't befit their status as a teacher. And how do we know that these people are ready to learn? Whereas there are lots of opportunities for everyone to learn, there are lots of rooms for everyone to learn, but only those that have chosen to be extraordinary, only those that have chosen to be an amazing teacher, only those that are they believe that they can be something apart from being a normal classroom teacher. Those are the ones that works on their effective communication skills, they work on their diction, and in fact, they see communication as something important and not just about talking and talking and talking. So we're still waiting for our coach to put us on the line of how to have effective communication and diction. I would like to cite an example. We've seen some people like lot of let me say lot of people, yes, lot of them, and some will tell you, I'm not a teacher, I don't need diction, and some will tell you, my English or my spoken English doesn't matter, my communication skills doesn't matter because it doesn't fetch me money. Wow. As a teacher, should we also have this mindset, or rather, should we also follow this suit, this mentality of being saying my mode of communication doesn't matter, my diction doesn't matter? I would like to tell you tonight that when you talk with diction, people will love to listen to you. In fact, they will pay more attention to you. They will want to get every detail of the information because it's just like you using a kind of a tone that is calling, a calling tone. It's just it will be captivating. Yes, it will be captivating indeed. So, as a teacher, if you are not ready to work on your diction sincerely, you are just like a normal teacher. You are just one of those that believe that "Mm, it's okay. Anyway, I talk, it's okay." But to me, no, it's not okay. As a teacher, we model and we should practice what we model. It is very, very important to do that. So I'm still learning, and I'm also willing to learn from our coach tonight on how to what to have effective communication and diction. All right, okay. Guess what? Our guest is almost here. She's almost here. Let's just hold on. All right, as we are waiting for our guests, I would like to highlight some things, or let me say, kind of reminder from what we've learned so far from this seminar. It's been an amazing one. I learned something important, and that is called brand tone. Brand tone. Brand tone. I don't know. I don't know about you, but to me as a teacher, I have realized that brand tone is very, very important. And that was due to the fact that Coach Medina told us yesterday that we have to be clear about our message and we have to be sure about our content and what we are ready to deliver to the world. It's not just about you. Yes, it's about your targets. We've seen a lot of amazing teachers doing wonderfully well in their sectors, in their field, because they're experts already and they always own their skills. Now, brand tone, as she said yesterday, it's very, very important. At times when you read some posts where you come across anything, a book, before you know it, someone will tell you this is the writer, this is the author. Why? Because they have seen something special, something unique, and that is the brand tone. So This is very important for us as a teacher. And um I'd like to share something with you as well because Coach Latif yesterday he actually did wonderfully well about our growth mindset. Growth mindset. This is very, very important. It's so saddening when I say teachers they say they are just into teaching because they have no any other opportunity, or they are just into teaching because they have no other job, they are into teaching because they have no any other option. So the passion is not just there, and they settle for this middle class mentality. um in fact, a lot of teachers they sit in this position because okay, wow, our coach is here. Coach Olubukola RB Agbalaya. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining the session tonight. It's really a pleasure to have you. So, I think without waiting and wasting our time, we should dive into the program as soon as possible. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, I am. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm trying to be okay. How are you too?
I'm fine too. Thank you very much. It's an honor to have you because I've been waiting for this session. I was told when I saw the flyer, I realized that you'll be taking us through effective communication and diction skills for teachers. This is very important, and that is what I've been trying to explain to my fellow teachers that it matters a lot. It's not about you being a banker or you being a doctor before you speak or talk with diction. So, thank you for coming. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome. Actually, I can hardly hear you well. It's kind of cracky here. So I don't know if you can hear me clearly too.
All right.
Can you hear me clearly?
I'm trying. I'm trying. I think you're somehow far from your speaker or you're using Effie. I'm trying to get that.
I'm not using any of those. I think it's the network because you're cracky too, to my hearing. I
Okay,
get to
can you
hear a
hear
word,
me
I
clearly?
hear the
Can you hear me
next.
clearly?
No, I can't. No,
You
I
can't.
can't. I
Wow.
cannot.
So what's the problem? I can hear you clearly now.
Okay, if you can hear me clearly, that's fine. I think that's okay. That's what's important at the moment.
Yes, yes, yes. So, can we have you, ma'am?
Of course, I'm ready. I'm here now. First, I'd like to apologize. The session was stated for 7:30, but this is a few minutes past 8 p.m. already. So first, pardon me for that. This is really not a very good timing, but I must be here. So Alhamdulillah that I'm able to make it. So good evening, everyone. My name is Olubukola Abi Agbalaya, and this evening I will be talking to you on effective communication and diction skill for teachers. You would agree with me that this is the 21st century and a lot of skills are needed by teachers. Like, we cannot start counting. If I start counting, you'll be like, all of this just for teachers? Yes, yes, yes. And the top three, when you look at the top three skills, communication skill is a part. And I like to always say that there is no way you talk about communication skill without talking about pronunciation for whatever language it is you speak in. So this session is going to be very short. However, I promise you, you'll get value. So talking about communication, communication is not just about speaking, which we all know. We have listening, speaking, presentation skills, speaking, writing. But this evening, I will focus on just two, which is listening and speaking. So please, if you can hear me, let me know. I can see my coach, okay? Okay.
I can hear you clearly. I can hear you
Okay,
clearly.
because I can see you again, so I thought I lost the connection. Okay, so
No.
like I said, I will focus on listening and then speaking. Now, as a teacher, I attended an event yesterday, Teachers' Day, and one of the questions, it was just like an icebreaker session for teachers. And one of the questions they asked someone, a colleague, was mention 5 skills that you need as a teacher. And the first thing she said is you need to be an active listener. Now, this is something most teachers do not even know. Most times we think as a teacher, all you need to do is just to inculcate, to reinforce, to teach. Yes, but I can tell you, before you can teach whatever it is you want to teach, you must have listened. You must have learned it from someone. So listening is a very, very great skill that you need as a teacher to be an effective communicator. Now, for you to be an active listener, there are 5 major steps you need to go through. Now, I'm going to look into my notepad and list them out. Now, the first is attending. Now, while someone is speaking to you, while your pupil is speaking to you, you need to show the availability. You need to let them know that you're involved, you're listening. What I see most teachers do is a child would come and say, Miss Bukola, Miss Bukola, Tade did this, Tade did that. If Miss Bukola was writing on the board at that point, Miss Bukola is supposed to stop writing, face that child, maintain eye contact, and let that child realize that you are available, that you are attending to him or her. So not just you writing, continue writing, and you say, what did he now do? No. In fact, most times when you're listening, you need to try to stay away from those words like, what now happened? Instead, why not nod your head? Remember, you're listening. So instead, nod your head to show, to signify that, okay, I'm with you, I am listening. So instead of putting what I call filler words, instead of using those, nod your head, use the right gesture, the right body language, and make sure to maintain eye contact. It depends on the situation. You can smile also. So the first step to being an active listener as a teacher is attending, making sure that the person you're listening to knows that, okay, you are available. Now, the second step is following. Now, attending leads to following. But because you're following, oh, I'm sorry, PHCN. I'm just going to turn on my cam. Then I just hope you will still be able to hear me. Is that okay, Madam Barakat? Hello? 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 Am I speaking to myself? Am I speaking to myself? Am I speaking to myself? Please let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know in the comment section. If you can hear me, please let me know in the comment section. Okay, thank you. Someone said go ahead. Thank you very much. So the next step is following. So because you are attending, you need to follow up with open-ended question or sometimes closed-ended question. Open-ended questions are questions that the answer is either correct or wrong. While closed questions are questions that allows the person you're asking to bring out his or her opinion or ideas. So you want to ask questions like, okay, tell me what happened? Why did Busayo push you? What then happened next? etc. Now, after following, you also need to learn how to use pauses. to your advantage. Pauses and silence, I like to say, especially when I take public speaking classes, that it is a powerful tool for a public speaker. And every time I take public speaking classes, I tell them the first example I make or I give is a teacher. As a teacher, you are a public speaker. Please, I hope the background noise isn't affecting. So you need to learn how to use pauses and silence. You know what that does for you? It encourages the person speaking to continue speaking, to continue talking. Because most times what we do as teachers is we want to start blaming. You want to start giving answers instead of just listening. And remember, as teachers, we are leaders. One of the best skill a leader can also have is listening skill, effective listening skill. So you want to pause, you want to be silent in order to encourage the person to keep speaking. Because most times when you start to blame, when you start to say things from your own angle, you discourage the person and the person will just want to listen to you instead of you listening to the pupil. Now, the fifth is prioritizing. You want to focus on the main content. As teachers, you can all attest to this. When the pupil come to you and they want to report, most times they leave out the major thing that they are supposed to say, and they say all the things that have happened. And as teachers, sometimes you get tired and you're like, okay, what exactly happened? So you want to prioritize by asking a question. I'm sorry for the background noise. By asking a question and saying, so what do you want me to do? When you ask such questions, that is a closed question. When you ask such question, your pupil will then tell you, oh, because Temi did this, I thought to report to you. Instead of giving you all the details. Yeah, there are times when you need all the details, but there are times when you only need the main content, the major reason why this is happening. And the truth is, communication is the key to effective instruction. As a teacher, we give instructions every time. And communication is key to effective communication. So before I proceed, I'd like to just summarize the 5 steps in being an active listener. Attending, following, learn to use pauses and silence to your advantage. You need to prioritize. Oh, that's 4. And lastly, you need to reflect. Reflecting means putting the other person, trying to put what they've said in your own word. What that does for you is it makes you to be sure that, okay, you heard what the person has said. So if Temi is saying that Bukola gave her a slap, so you're trying to put it together, you're trying to put what Temi has said to you in your own words. Okay, did you just say that Bukola gave you a slap on the stairs? You just want to reiterate to be sure that what the person has said is what you heard. So those 5 steps, or these 5 steps, would help you as a class teacher to become better listener. In fact, an active listener. Now remember I said that I will be talking about 2. And as teachers, we listen to students, parents, school management, etc. Also, we speak to them. And like I said earlier also, teaching is all about communication. You listen, you speak, you read, you present, you write. So with my first 5 steps, I believe you will become a better listener, and that would eventually affect your communication skill. Now I will move to speaking. Now, before I talk about speaking, I would like to say that effective communication also includes you being able to transform a boring session, a boring situation into an interesting. I apologize for that. I needed to quickly control them.
No problem, ma'am.
Okay, so I was saying that effective communication also includes you being able to transform boring situations, a boring class, into an interesting one. And for you to do that, you need to be able to speak well. That is a presentation skill, but a major presentation skill is speaking. So presenting and speaking, I will be putting them together tonight to help us become a better communicator in our various classes. So now talking about speaking, there is this term we all are familiar with. We hear it here and there, but of course, most times we don't even have the right information about it. And that word is diction. We hear almost every day. Even teachers, most of you say, speak right, speak in the right diction. Oh, she's a diction teacher. She's this, she's that, diction, diction, diction. But most times we really do not know what diction is. Now, diction has different meaning, but the meaning I will focus on tonight is the one that says that diction is about clarity and distinctness. Clarity, being clear, and distinctness. And I can tell you that there is no way you will talk about diction without talking about your tune, your pitch, your voice. Excuse me. As a teacher, the right tune or the right voice can help you keep your student engaged. It can help you build rapport. Most times when I go for training sessions, on Tuesday I was at a school training, and at the end of the training, I usually like to have this vote of thanks. And I said to them, thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much for the frequency you're transferring. Then at the end, one of the teachers said, ma'am, it was a frequency you transferred that you got back. And that is how it works in classroom. If you are transferring a moody, weak, sad, in summary, negative frequency, what happens to your learners? They become weak too. They become dull. It becomes boring. But when you have such a nice voice and you're making sure that you're not monotonous, you're using the right pitch, you're using the right tone, what that does for you is it helps your learners to be in that same high spirit. The truth is, a monotonous voice usually makes your learners lose interest. In fact, sometimes it's disheartening them. Why a nice voice, the right voice, and put it that way, while the right voice, the right tone would help them to be engaged. It puts them on that high spirit, cloud nine. And for you to establish this, all you need to do is try your best to establish an authoritative yet approachable voice. It is always best as teachers for you to find the right balance between being stern and being kind. The moment you find that balance, it becomes easier for you to showcase it in how you sound. Not just about pronouncing your words now. It is more about the energy you're transferring, the energy you're releasing, how you sound. When you're tired, there is a way you sound. When you are happy, there is a way you sound. When you want to do something, The reason why you sound, when you're not interested in something and you're being forced to do it, it's obvious in your voice. That is why when you call someone, you can easily say, "Are you okay today? What happened?" You're sounding down. Because the voice tells us how you feel at the moment. So the teachers, you want to stop being monotonous. Where you need to use a high voice, please do. Where you need to use soft voice, please do. Where you need to be harsh, please go ahead. Remember, it is about finding the balance between being stern and being kind. So back to diction. What will diction do for you? Just to I'll mention to remember, I said it's going to be a very short session. Diction would help to enhance accuracy in your pronunciation, which would of course also help your voice. It also helps your learners with their reading skill. It enhances their reading skill. So the truth is, the more you level up on your communication skill, the more your learners ultimately love you, the more it hones your own skill as a teacher to be better, to prepare for the world beyond your classroom. So to be an effective communicator, it is very, very important that you pay attention to your diction. So I will be sharing do-it-yourself skills, DIY, things you can do at home to help improve your diction. The first thing that I would say is be an active listener. Yes, the English language is such an illogical language. In Nigeria, the vehicle of communication for teachers is English, majorly English. So this language we're talking about is illogical. So because of that, it requires continuous learning. You want to keep learning. As a diction instructor, as an authority in this field, I keep learning. Because when I have an Indian student, the reason why I need to teach him, when I have someone from Dubai, it's different because what they do more is Arabic. So as a teacher in your classroom also, you need to keep learning English pronunciation. Never get tired of it. So the first thing you need to do is to be an active listener. And I recommend you start watching movies if you're a movie lover. You start listening to music if you're a music lover, cartoon, whatever it is. Just make sure you are focusing on those that pay attention to proper pronunciation. So as an active listener, while you're watching, while you're listening, you're paying attention to the words that they pronounce differently. So if I'm listening to Madam Barakat, and Madam Barakat is pronouncing the word E-L-I-T-E as elite, and if I usually pronounce it as elite, what happens? I will take note of that word, do my research to know if I'm right or it is Madam Barakat that is correct. So if she's correct, what then happened? I adopt it. What am I doing? I'm improving my diction. I'm improving my pronunciation without necessarily paying anyone. So the first do-it-yourself skill or strategy is be an active listener. We started from there anyway. Now the second is you want to leverage movies, music, cartoon, whichever you enjoy, those that pay attention to proper pronunciation. So if you love to watch Nollywood, you want to start watching people like Joketa Silva, Desmond Elliott, Genevieve, Jennifer. You will start watching more of their movies so you can learn better pronunciation. If you prefer news, you want to start to listen to local TV stations like TVC channels. You want to go international, you want to do BBC, CNN, etc. Instead of even Radio Lagos in the morning, early in the morning on Radio Lagos, they read well when they're reading in English. You want to leverage them. instead of just listening to news anyhow. So that's the second do-it-yourself skill. Now, the third DIY is for you to make sure that you practice what you learn. So what you learned while you were listening to speakers, what you learned while you were listening to the news, while you were listening to music, you want to put it into practice. So when they speak, you learn and you use. Because when you don't use it, you lose it. And that means that your effort in learning it or in having it is a waste. So these 3 DIY would help you to keep improving your pronunciation, your diction. Now, lastly, I will go to the 5 C's of effective communication. The 5 C's. So while I talked about active listening, I mentioned five major points. Talking about diction, I mentioned 3 major points. Now I will be going to the 5 C's of effective communication. Of course, effective communication is about process of process of exchanging ideas, opinion, thoughts, knowledge, data, information, message, just name it. However, while you are exchanging it, you want to make sure that it is received. It is understand with clarity and purpose. So which is why I have taken the 5 C's. Now the 5 C's are clarity. You are not an effective communicator if you're not clear. When you give your pupils assignment, did I bring it back and tell you, Miss Bukola, I didn't understand what you asked me to do? Because you were not clear. The instruction wasn't clear. That's why they don't understand. You want to be clear. How do you become clear when speaking? First, you want to learn the sounds that you use in making the words. Words are made by putting together sounds reasonably, whether you're speaking in Yoruba, Hausa, Arabic, French, Chinese, whatever language. So in English, I want to give an instruction. I need to put sounds together. I need to put them together to be able to make a word, to be able to make a sentence, to be able to make my instruction. So if I'm putting together the wrong sounds, what happens? I will not be clear. So you want to learn the sounds that make words. And that is one of the major things we learn in diction, in a diction course. If you're enrolling on a diction course, that is a major thing. I have a course, I call it the 4 steps to good diction. That is the first step. You want to learn the sounds that help you to put your words together. So the moment you have the right sound, the words come out well formed. And if there is no barrier, the person you are communicating with will understand you clearly. So clarity, that is the first C. The second C is correctness. 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 What you've said, is it correct? What you've said, is it correct? Ask yourself. If it is not correct, then you will not communicate. Instead, you will confuse your audience. So the first C is clarity, the second C is correctness. The third C is complete. Complete. Talking about complete, if I go into it, it's going to lead us to intonation. Teachers, please learn to use the right intonation. When you use a wrong intonation, for example, excuse me. For example, Rise in intonation, rise in tone usually means that you have more to say. So when you're given an instruction and you don't have more to say, why use the rise in intonation? Why? So you need to learn the right tone to use for every instruction you give. As a teacher, I teach secondary, I teach primary. Now there are some instructions I give. There is a kind of emotion it carries. My students, my learners, my pupils know, oh, I would not joke with this. If you joke with this, you're going to get into Miss Bukola's den. Most of them call me the diction queen. They will say, oh, you're going to get into the den of the diction queen. And there are some instructions that I give. But even when I give the same instruction using another emotion, another tune, they don't take such serious because they know, oh, she's in a light mood, so I don't think she's serious about that. So the tune also tells your learners the gravity of what you're saying. So when you're using the wrong tune, the wrong body language, the wrong gesture, the wrong voice for a particular instruction, it means your communication is not complete. Because now your learners, your pupils, your students, they're accepting it, they're receiving it rather, but it's not well understood. It's not well understood. Now the fourth C is concise. Concise means being short, and no matter how short it is, it carries value. No matter how short it is, it means a lot. Concise. And the last is compassionate. Compassionate also has to do with your emotion. If I ask most of you here tonight, I say, why are you a teacher? Most of you say, I have the passion. I'm compassionate about teaching. Do you show that when you speak in your classroom, to the management, to the parents, to the pupils? Do you exude that? Do you bring that out? Do you let them see it? So the 5 C's again: clarity, correctness, complete, concise, and compassion. So with these 5 C, your pupils, your students, the school management, the parents will be able to receive your message, understand your message with clarity and purpose. And remember at the beginning, I said that communication is key to effective instruction. So as teachers, it is important to pay attention to our communication skill. It is very, very important. So to improve your communication skills, put in use the 5 C's, practice active listening, and of course, make sure that you're not speaking with monotonous tune. Instead, try to balance your tune between being stern and being kind. And of course, we also know that communication is about 55% nonverbal skill, which is your tune, your body language, your gesture. You must align with what you say. 35% vocal, your pronunciation, your diction. We talked about that, things you can do by yourself to help you improve your diction. And 7% words. So if I were you, henceforth, I would practice active listening more. Make sure that whenever I want to open my mouth to say something, I exude the right energy. And of course, I pronounce my words well. So I have come to the end of this session. Thank you very much to the convener, Mr. Abdulateef Adedeji, and to my what's her name again? To Mrs. or Miss Adejuma Barakat. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks so graciously for the opportunity.
It's a pleasure. I believe we've all learned something important tonight because, as for me, I can see more reason I have to speak with Diction, as it's not just about me, but it's also about my learners. All right, Mrs. Coach Olubukola RB Agbalaya. I hope I get that right. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for dishing out some values. We are not taking this for granted. We are not. We are really honored to have you and someone like you to tutor us tonight. Thank you on behalf of everyone, on behalf of teachers, and on behalf of all your students. We say thank you for being an amazing teacher. All right. What about if you have a question or anything? Are you still with us?
Yes, I am here. I am available for questions. I'll be here for a few minutes anyway.
All right, all right. So, if you have any question, you can kindly drop any question right now. So our coach will attend to it. All right, I think I should ask this question. Firstly, what's your own advice for teachers that have the mentality of them not needing diction? They believe that some will tell you, I'm a teacher, but some things are not just proper. This is your own voice. You are blessed with it. And some will say it's actually a gift to some people that we cannot talk the way you are talking. So, what's your own advice to them? Do you think everyone can speak with diction?
Okay, first, I'd like to say that diction is a skill. In truth, it's not a talent, it's a skill, and it's not hereditary.
Good.
So, a skill is something you learn and practice. A skill is just like hairdressing. Some people define themselves being able to weave hair that plaited. But to turn it into a skill, they still need to go for further training. That is what diction is. So for some people, from birth, they are fluent. They can speak English smoothly, fast. They have good voice, nice voice. Now, them being able to do that becomes a talent. But the truth is, most of such people, yes, they sound nice, but they mispronounce a lot of words. Remember, diction is not just about sounding nice, it is more about pronouncing words clearly and distinctly, correctly. That is what diction is. So, for someone who already has it as a talent, who finds it easy to do so, such a person still needs to go learn diction. So my answer is yes, everybody, all teachers can speak with proper diction. However, there is a price to pay. So for teachers that says, I don't need to speak in the right diction, who English help? We hear things like that. Is English my father's my father's language? Like they give you different reasons. What I say to such people is those things, those excuses, they are not tangible. They are just shortcuts, escape routes. The truth is, if you don't want to do something, you'll find 101 reasons why you don't want to do that thing. That's just how it works. But the truth also is, as a teacher, if you really, really want to be a professional teacher, then never joke with your diction. Because when people meet you, when your parents meet you, when a school you want to start working with when they meet you, apart from how you look, apart from your clothing style, your dressing, the next thing that they would use in judging you is how you sound. So if you're hiding under that mentality of who English help, is it my father's language? But everyone can understand me. I would say you're sabotaging yourself, just like you're shooting yourself in the leg. So I believe I've answered that question.
Yes, you have. Thank you very much for that beautiful response. Coach Latif, I don't know if you are there. Are you there? I guess he's not with us right now. Coach Abdulatif, are you there? Oh, all right. I guess this is what will be round 13 for tonight on the program as we have no more questions. So, okay, I guess. Sorry. It's still not air. All right, Coach Abdulatif, are you there? I think he's having issues with his network. Let's give him some few minutes for him to get his network right, and I'm very sure he would have one or two things to add. All right, he's here. Coach Abdulatif, are you back?
Okay, wow. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. I've been calling your name. I
Yeah.
guess you're having a problem with your network.
Oh, thank
No
thank
problem.
you, thank you so much, Miss Olubukola. Thank you, ma. I don't take this for granted. Like, I really know the amount of effort that goes into you being here tonight, and I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Please, I want you to, if you're here, please, I want you to like appreciate Miss Olubukola. I know you must have learned a whole lot about diction. I myself am back here learning, especially the 5 C's of communication and the do it yourself tips that you can use to improve your diction. So, Ma, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I don't take it for granted. Thank you, and I'm also like promising to start working more on my diction because I want to be able to. I want to make it like something like an habit, like not just something you do occasionally, but something that you do. Because one thing I've noticed is that most diction, even those that call themselves diction coach, when they are outside, they don't speak normal. They don't speak the way they speak when they are forming their diction coach. But then I've met some people like maybe 2 or 3 persons that like the same way you are, same way they speak in real life is where they will speak anywhere, even when they are addiction coach. And Mrs. Olubukola is one of them. Like the way she's speaking here right now, if you have ever met her before anywhere, that's the same way she's going to talk. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. Thank you, ma. And to my amiable moderator, thank you so much for doing a fantastic job. Thank you, Ma. And to everyone that is here, we are glad that you are here. You're the one, you make it worth it. If you're joining the replay too, we're glad that you watch it to this period. So I'll just like go back to my corner here, and you my moderator the chance to finish our work. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
All
I
right.
appreciate the invitation too. Thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing your diction skyrocketing. I look forward to that.
All right, Mom. Thank you very much for coming. I don't know if you have any question. You can drop it now for our coach to attend to it. If you have any question, don't hesitate to drop it, please. All right, coach. I hope I'll be one of your students. So, will you allow me to be?
Definitely, definitely. I will be glad to have you in my corner.
Oh,
You're doing a
nice.
fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you
Could you
very
please allow
much.
me quickly address the writing on the screen? It says
Yes.
that I found myself, thanks Diction Queen, I used to speak right and well before I got to my current school. It has eroded because of where I found myself. My colleagues saw me as overdue. It's a normal
Nice.
thing. I think it was last year or early this year, I had a webinar talking about how to handle diction bullies. They are everywhere. I call them bullies. And I like to just use this analogy that says that light will never bow down to darkness. So I tell people, if you speak right, see yourself as light, and see those who don't speak right, see them as darkness. In this aspect now, they're not your enemy, just in this aspect now. See them as you're better than them. And as humans, most times we are selfish. Selfish. We do not want someone in our circle to be better than us. The moment they're better, they start to tag you like you're proud, you're this, you're that. It's just a normal individual trait that we all have. But some people are able to control it, while some people they are not able to. So when they find you speaking right, they want to make you feel bad. They do things that make you feel like you're overdoing, like are you out of this world? Are you from somewhere else? And all of that. So see them as darkness. And remember, it has been said, the light that you are will never bow down to darkness. So all I'm pleading for is, if you're speaking right, make it a consistent thing. This is another thing. People meet you for the first time and you're speaking in a particular way, they see it as you're forming because they don't know who you are. So they believe that in few days, few weeks, you go back to your normal self. Now, if you do that, I like to tell my students, I tell them, you are fucked up. You're not supposed to do that. If you really just speak right, because someone is making you feel threatened or someone is making you feel uncomfortable, then you want to drop it and go to your old self. No, don't do that. The moment you do that, you just prove them right. Because the first impression they have about you is you're forming. They don't know you before. You're speaking that particular way, they see you as forming. So you want to prove them wrong that I am not forming. This is who I am. I speak right always. So you want to keep at it. The moment you deviate, then you have proved them right. It means you were actually forming. But if you're not forming, if that is who you are, no matter what they do, you want to stick to speaking right. And when they see that that is who you are, you know what happens? You start to influence them. They start to want to be like you. When things come up that need your skill, they recommend you. When doors need to open and it's for people who speak right, they quickly point at you, even though at the beginning they threatened you. So what I want to say is, find that strength again to go back to who you used to be if you really are committed to speaking right. Keep speaking right no matter what they do. And with time, they will learn to accept you for who you are. Thank you very much. I need to go now.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for taking us through effective communication and diction for teachers. We are blessed to have you. All right, this is where we'll have to stop for tonight. And tomorrow we'll be having Coach Olaliko Adiola Udusanya. I hope you won't miss it. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't try to miss it. Okay, thank you for coming, everyone. We appreciate you dearly. Until tomorrow, we hope to see every one of you. I am Barakat Adejumo, and I want to appreciate my wonderful coach, Abdelatif Adedeji, for giving an opportunity to do this. All right. Thank you for coming. Do enjoy the rest of the night. Coach Abdelatif, sorry, are you there? Are you there? Coach Abdelatif?